Happy Sunday morning, boys and girls. It's your old pal, Andy France, the Grand Poobah of Judson Sunday School, welcoming you back, and welcoming me back to another episode of Virtual Judson Sunday School. Did you miss me last week? Couldn't be helped. I had to be out of town because I got married. Can you believe it? I can't wait for you to meet her. She is a great gal. You're going to love her. I know you're going to love her. Her name is Jane. Jane Charlemagne Kardashian. She's keeping her name, but I just call her Mange for short. It's our sort of little pet name. But she is great. And like I say, you're going to love her once you meet her. Her whole family is great. In fact, when I finish taping this episode of Virtual Judson Sunday School, I'm going to mosey on over to the E network and then wait, what? You don't believe me? There's no Jane Charlemagne Kardashian? Well, who was that gal I got married to last week? Okay, all right. So I wasn't exactly on the level with you about being out of town last week. Here's what really happened. The real reason I was away was, most of you know that being a Grand Poobah is just a part-time job for me. In real life, wait a minute. I probably shouldn't say this too loud, so why don't you scoot up a little closer to your computer screens, if you don't mind? Just scoot on up. Yeah, just a little bit more. A little bit more, please. Thank you. Oh, that's good enough. Don't tell a living soul, but I, in real life, am Batman. I know it's hard to believe. Maybe if I did this. What do you think? Now, I'm Batman. Are you buying it? How about, would you believe I'm Oliver, Batman's older brother? His younger brother? Okay. So here's what really happened last weekend. I had to be away last Sunday because I got a phone call from a certain person who will remain nameless, even though he lives in a big white house in a city that ends in the initials D.C., and yes, I'm talking about that guy. And he called to ask if I could help him with some spelling for his Twitter account. I know. Who knew he couldn't spell? Long story. But anyway, out of the blue, I get this phone call, and it's that guy telling me that he had seen a Kids' Day video from a few years ago in which my hair had a certain, shall we say, golden comb-over glow about it. Do you remember that Kids' Day? Does this look familiar to you? Oh yeah, now it's coming back. Some of you had that same golden glow about your hair. Well, the guy who called me, he loved it. He thought we looked terrific, and he had heard that I was a proofreader in real life and thus a very good speller. And so he had me fly down on Air Force One, not bad, huh? To help him spell hydroxychloroquine. Hydroxychloroquine. No, that's not right either. It was hydroxychloroform? Quinn? Still not buying it? Okay. Well, for whatever reason, I was away last week. I'm back, baby. And if you haven't figured it out by now from all the whoppers I've been telling, today's lesson is all about telling the truth. What is the word truth? What does the word truth mean? It means what is real, what is right, what is accurate, what is fact. Not what we wish were true, Mr. President. Nor is it what Stephen Colbert, the talk show host, coined a few years ago, the word truthiness, which means something that sounds like it could be true if only it were. When we tell the truth, we tell exactly what happened. Just the facts, Jack. And of course, we can't talk about truth without talking about the opposite of truth. What exactly is the opposite of truth? Uh-oh, I'm feeling it coming on. Lies, lies, I can't believe a word you say. Lies, lies, gonna make you sad someday. Hey, this musical flashback was brought to you by Linda Ronstadt, who was an old girlfriend of mine back in the 70s. We used to date. We were quite the couple. She was my lover. Not really. Oh, yeah, we were, yeah. Nah, it's not true. Oh, yeah. Shout out Eddie Izzard. Anyway, what exactly is a lie? A lie is a false statement made with the deliberate intent to deceive someone. Deceive means to mislead or fool somebody. But the key word in this definition is deliberate, which means on purpose, intentional. Now, let's fess up. Everyone tells lies from time to time. We tell little fibs, or we fudge the truth here and there. We exaggerate, we stretch, we embellish a story. Yesterday, I went fishing, and I caught a fish this big. Now, that might not be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, but it doesn't exactly make us Pinocchio, because not all lies are created equal. Remember Grandma and that birthday gift of underwear we got a few years ago, that was in an episode a few weeks back? Thank you, Grandma, for my underwear. I really love this gift. Well, sometimes we tell little tiny, hopefully harmless lies in order to be polite or to not hurt anyone's feelings. Nobody wants to hurt Grandma's feelings. For example, let's say someone comes up to you and asks, "Hey, do these jeans make my butt look fat?" Now, what you are tempted to say is, "Not if you're comparing it to an elephant's butt, they don't." But no, you don't say that because you're trying to be polite. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And so instead you would say, "No, those jeans look great. In fact, they help shape your butt into the shape of an elephant's butt." Nope, don't say that last part. Here's another example. Let's say, and this one comes from our new life in quarantine. Let's say someone comes up to you and asks you if you like their new haircut that they cut themselves. You're tempted to say, "Well, it certainly looks like you cut it yourself. Did you use a bowl? Was the bowl by any chance lopsided?" But no, what you actually say is something more polite. Something like, "It looks fantastic. It's such an even cut all the way around." Technically, those are lies, but they're said with the best of intentions. Someone comes up to you and asks, "Will you come to my birthday party this Saturday? It's going to be 7 hours long." Once you caught your breath, you will probably say something like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but I already have a 7-hour engagement for this Saturday." Or let's say somebody says to you, "How do you like that meatloaf? It took me hours to prepare it." It was delicious. Now, there are other reasons for telling lies, not so harmless, not so polite, not so innocent. Sometimes that deliberate intent to deceive is because we did something we shouldn't have been doing. Maybe we were wrestling inside when we know we're not supposed to wrestle indoors. That's the rule. And by accident, we knocked a vase over. It falls to the floor and breaks. Our parents come and they say, "Did you break that vase?" And we lie and say, "No, it wasn't me. It might have been the wind." Or sometimes we lie to cover up a mistake, like forgetting to do your homework. Your teacher asks you where your homework is, and you say, "Well, honest, I did my homework. My dog must have ate it." And the teacher corrects you and says, "No, your dog must have eaten it." Or even worse is the kind of lie in which we try and push responsibility onto someone else. I didn't do it, she did it. Maybe we've told a few of these lies, and maybe we've gotten away with them, leading us to think that like that big red button on my desk in my office that some of you like to come in and smack, that was easy. What's the big deal? What's so wrong about telling a few lies from time to time? They're just words. What's so important about telling the truth? Well, I'm glad you asked. There are many reasons why it's important to tell the truth, and as Grand Poobah, I know them all. No, that's a lie. But I do know 3 of them, and I'd like to share them with you right now. The first reason is reputation, what other people think about you. Now, we're all Judson kids. We've got a whole lot of rebel inside each one of us. What do we care what anybody thinks about us? And that's fine until it comes to issues of trust. It is, let me say this in the way that Joali would say it. It is very, 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 very important that other people are able to trust us. How many of you know the story of the boy who cried wolf? I'm sure all of you know it. I'll rehash it for you. Once there was a shepherd boy who was in charge of the village sheep. And one day he was bored and decided to trick the villagers by yelling out, "Wolf! Wolf! There's a wolf attacking the sheep!" All the villagers came running, only to find that there was no wolf and the boy was laughing at them. Well, the mayor came over to the boy and said, "Don't do that." And everybody went back home. The next day, the shepherd boy was thinking about how funny it was previous day when everybody came huffing and puffing from the village all the way up the hill to the sheep meadow, only to find there wasn't a wolf. And he thought, I'd like to fool those villagers again. And so once again he yells out, "Wolf! Wolf! There's a wolf attacking the sheep!" The villagers, without thinking twice, went running back up the hill, only to find that once again the boy wasn't telling the truth. There was no wolf. They had been tricked. The mayor comes up to the boy, and once again he says, "Don't do that. Don't cry wolf when there's no wolf." And all the villagers went back to the village. Well, that night there was a wolf, a real wolf, coming to attack the sheep. And the boy, the shepherd boy, was terrified. And so he screams out, "Wolf! Wolf! There's a wolf attacking the sheep." Excuse me. Nobody came this time. Not one villager came, because they all said to themselves, "I'm not going to be fooled. I know that boy is trying to trick us again." And so they stayed home. No one came to the rescue. The next day, the boy goes into the village, and he says to all the people there, "Where were you? Last night there was a wolf attack, and all the sheep are gone. I called out to you, but nobody came. What happened?" And the mayor goes up to the boy, to the shepherd boy, and he says, "If you lie to people over and over and over again, no one's going to believe you when you tell them the truth." So, what do you think the villagers came to believe about the shepherd boy? What was his reputation? He was someone they believed who couldn't be trusted, right? Here's hoping that you and I can be seen as the kind of people who can be trusted. Here's a second reason for why telling the truth is important: a good memory. Our old buddy Mark Twain once said, "If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything," meaning that it's easy to remember the truth when we tell what actually happened. But when we start making stuff up, it becomes harder and harder to keep your story straight, to remember what you told this person as opposed to what version you told that person. Let me illustrate that point, and to do so, I'm going to use this lovely array of dinosaurs. I bet you've been sitting at home thinking, what are all those dinosaurs for? You're about to find out. Let's say that you are in a school race, and you run in the race, you compete in the race, and you come in 8th place. So you go home, and your mother asks, how did the race go? And you say, I came in 8th place. You tell the truth. The truth is simple to hold on to, like holding on to one of these toy dinosaurs. But what if you decided you wanted to impress your mother by telling her that you actually won the race, even though you didn't? That's a little more to have to hold on to. We'll grab another dinosaur for that little stretch of the truth. Sometimes one lie can actually lead to another lie. For example, your mother says, well, congratulations on winning the race. Did you get a trophy for that? I'd love to see it. And you say, I did get a trophy for it, but I left it at school. Let me add another something to this pile here. And then your mother says, well, be sure and bring it home from school so we can put it up on the mantle. And you say, I will. So later in the day, your grandmother comes over to see how you like your birthday underwear. Uh-oh. Thank you, Grandma. I love my underwear. Let's get this big one right here. So once Grandma finds out that you were in a race, you're going to have to tell her the same things you told your mother, those same lies. So I think we told Mom a couple of lies. Let me see if I can hold on to these guys right here. We'll grab that one right there. And so it's getting a little harder to hold on to the truth, isn't it? The next day, your best friend Terry comes along, and she asked you about the race as well. Now, you want to impress Terry. She's your best friend. But Terry has seen you run before. She knows you're not fast enough to win a race. But again, you don't want to tell her you came in 8th. So you decide to tell Terry, I came in 3rd place. Okay, let me just see if I can hold on to all these guys. Hang in there, boys and girls. Here's the 3rd place lie right here. Later that day, your other friend John comes over and he asks you about the race as well, which makes me think, did anybody go to this race? Good gracious, nobody saw you run? So John asks you about the race, and you're just about to tell John what you told Terry until, you'll have a memory lapse, and you can't remember whether you told Terry that you came in 3rd place or 4th place. So instead, you tell John that you came in 2nd place. John happens to congratulate you, and then he says, what do you get for 2nd place? Oh boy. Well, you just happen to get a red ribbon. Oh, that's terrific. Congratulations. Do you have it on you? No. Technically, that's not a lie. You don't have a red ribbon on you. But he says, why don't you bring it tomorrow? I'd love to see it. Okay. Let me get another lie right here. And so it continues. One lie leads to another. One of these leads to one of these until you're just about, and everything falls apart. Wouldn't it have been easier just to tell the truth? One last reason why telling the truth is important, and that is a clean conscience. Everybody has a little voice inside their head, and some of us have more than one. Crazy, I'm crazy for... Anyway, that little voice is Mr. Conscience, and Mr. Conscience loves it when we tell the truth. But when you don't tell the truth, it's like a kid flicking you in the head. Ow, ow, ow. And you can't help but feel bad. You can't help but start to feel guilty. You are much too young to be racked with guilt. there's plenty of time for guilt later in life when you get to be my age. Jesus once said that the truth shall set you free. When we tell the truth, there is less stress. We have more peace of mind. Why? Because it's always better to, in the immortal words of Spike Lee, do the right thing. Well, hey, boys and girls, it's June 7th by my calendar, which means we're 1 week away from Kids' Day. I should have received everything you sent me as far as your video is concerned. So today we're going to sing Manhattan one last time. We have been singing this for months. I don't know if you're tired of it. I hope not, but it wouldn't surprise me if we all weren't a little tired of it. But it's a great song. I thank you so much for singing it and for practicing it all this time. I loved seeing your videos. And let's sing it one more time, okay? It'll be in the Kids' Day service, so let's give it one more go through. Here we go. You ready? And if we ever have a sponsor for this part of the virtual class, I think it should be Kentucky Fried Chicken, because it's finger-licking that's happening all the time here. So here we go. Summer journeys to Niagara and to other places aggravate all our cares. We'll save our fares. I've a cozy little flat in what is known as Old Manhattan. We'll settle down right here in town. We'll have Manhattan, the Bronx and Staten Island too. It's lovely going through the zoo. 2, 3, sing. It's very fancy on Old Delancey Street, you know. The subway charms us so when balmy breezes blow to and fro. And tell me what street compares with Mott Street in July. Sweet push carts gently gliding by. The great big city's a wondrous toy, just made for a girl and boy. We'll turn Manhattan into an isle of joy. Now it's early Sunday morning, everyone's asleep and snoring, except me and you. What shall we do? Claude's patisserie is calling, their croissants are our downfalling. But what if your goal is food for your soul? We'll go to Judson and have some fun in Sunday school. It's where the golden rule is cool. 2, 3, sing. We'll read some stories, they're kinda gory, like Sodom and Gomorrah, with lots more blood in store, like Samson or even Noah. Ask Russell Crowe. We'll buy a llama for someone's mama, and then we'll smile as we race baby Moseses down the Nile. Through all these lessons we hope to see just who God might have us be. We'll go to Judson, our Sunday family. Thank you so much for singing this song all year long. So, boys and girls, there's an old expression to be doing something up a storm, which means you're doing a lot of it. So, for example, if I say, boy, we were dancing up a storm last night, it means we were doing a lot of dancing. Or you might say, over Thanksgiving holidays, we were cooking up a storm, meaning there was a whole lot of cooking going on. Today's story has something to do with what we were talking about earlier, truth and lies, and it's called Lying Up a Storm by Julia Cook and Michelle Hazelwood Hyde. There's a little foreword here from Julia. She says, "For the little storms brewing in all of us." So let's give it a read. My name is Levi, and I always tell the truth. Well, most of the time. But I did wash my hands. Are you sure? Yep. My room is clean. Did you just shove stuff under the bed like you did last time? Nope. Are you sure? But I did let the dog out about 15 minutes ago. She must not have gone. Are you sure? Yep. Whenever I don't like the truth, I sorta make up other stuff to say. Sometimes the truth is boring, and sometimes it's just easier to tell people what they want to hear. Sometimes lying keeps me from getting into trouble. Besides, it's not like I tell great big whopper lies. I just tell itty-bitty lies. Last night I had homework to do, but I accidentally left it in my desk at school. When I got home, my mom asked me, "Levi, do you have homework tonight?" I had to think really quick on my feet and come up with a story that she would believe. I didn't have my homework, but I couldn't tell her why, so I decided to tell an itty-bitty lie. We didn't have any. I think it worked. This morning when I got to school, my teacher asked me, "Levi, where is your homework?" I had to think really quick on my feet. If I told her the truth, my teacher would freak. I didn't do my homework, but I couldn't tell her why, so I decided to tell another tiny lie. I left it on our kitchen table. My mom was helping me with it last night, and I accidentally forgot to put it in my backpack. I think it worked. At recess, all of the cool kids were talking about where they have been and where they are going. We're going to New York City over Thanksgiving break. We're going on a cruise to the Bahamas over winter break. We did that last year. This year, we're going skiing in Utah. I had to think really quick on my feet. I just didn't want to seem like a geek. I looked down at the dirt and up at the sky, and then I came up with a great big fat lie, almost a whopper. My Uncle Jim is going to be one of the first people to spend a week on the moon, and he told me that I could go with him. Nuh-uh. Yeah, right, Levi. Or should we call you Lee-Lie? I don't think that one worked very well. The rest of my day went pretty well. I only had to lie a few more times. Bingo! Levi, I've only called out 3 numbers. This is a little girl by the name of Edith, and you can't see this, but her name is on this pencil. And Levi says, "But this is my pencil. I brought it from home. My grandma's name is Edith, and she gave me this pencil. She gave this pencil to me last week. I swear." Yeah, right, Levi. Nope, it wasn't me. I never log on to that game site at school. I was just doing my math. Yeah, right, Levi. I didn't do it, I promise. I was just standing here, and this great, big, huge bumblebee flew in the window and hit a flower head on and knocked your vase onto the floor. Yeah, right, Levi. I'm pretty sure that's not what happened, my teacher said. At the end of the day, my teacher handed me a note. "Make sure your mom gets this, Levi." Okay, I will. When I got home, my mom said, "Levi, you're looking a bit gloomy. How was your day?" "Good," I said. "Your teacher called and said to expect a note from her. Do you have it?" I had to think really quick on my feet. If I told the truth, my mom would just freak. I threw the note away, but I couldn't tell her why, so I decided to tell another little lie. I can't find it. I think it must have fallen out of my backpack on the way home from school. Are you sure? Yep. At first, I thought it had worked. But then my mom said, "Levi, when you tell a lie, your inside sun goes away. There's a lying cloud forms and glooms up your day. Telling one lie leads to another, to telling another. You've lied to your teacher, your friends, and your mother. You've lied at school. You've lied at home. And right now, son, you're lying up a storm. But, Mom, there are no buts about it, Levi. You've been caught. You must start telling the truth, and this lying has to stop. I realize that you might think it's easier to lie, but telling lies will hurt you. And let me tell you why. Whenever you tell a lie, your inside sun goes away. Then a lying cloud forms and glooms up your day. Each time you tell a lie, another cloud starts to form. And before you can stop it from happening, your insides start to storm. Lying causes your friends not to trust you. They'll start to push you away. And then you'll feel all alone because no one will want to play. You won't be very happy if you don't have an inside sun, because when you tell lies to others, your life just isn't fun. Do you ever lie? Levi asked his mom. Yes, I have told lies before. Just last week, I told the man in the movie booth that you were 2 years younger than you actually are, so I could pay less for your ticket. But when I sat down to watch the movie, my inside sun went away. Clouds came in and made me feel bad, and it just about ruined my day. I got out of my seat and found the man that was sitting at the booth. I paid him the extra money and then told him the truth. I started to feel much better inside, and my storm cleared up right away. I told the truth even though it was hard. Then I had a super great day. Levi, people lie all the time for a lot of different reasons, but that doesn't make it right. You can't do anything about other people lying. You can only control what you do. But I know for sure that you won't ever be happy if you don't have an inside sun, and telling the truth can help keep you safe. I know you don't like your stormy inside, and if you want it to go away, don't lie to yourself and others. Tell the truth and start today. I felt really awful. Not only was I lying to others, I was lying to me. My insides were wet and soggy, and I hadn't seen my inside sun for days. So I took my mom's advice and decided to give telling the truth a try. Mom, I lied to you about the note. I threw it in the trash can so I wouldn't get in trouble. Thank you, Levi, for telling me the truth. She didn't freak out, even a little bit. The next day at school, I told my teacher the truth about a lot of things. I'm sorry I lied. It was me that logged onto that video game site during math yesterday. Thank you, Levi, for telling me the truth. Oh, and I was the one who knocked over your vase. It wasn't a great, big, huge bumblebee. Thank you, Levi, for telling me the truth. Oh, and I really didn't have a bingo yesterday. I just wanted to win. Thank you, Levi, for telling me the truth. My teacher didn't freak out either. I was shocked. At recess, I told the cool kids that I'd lied about my Uncle Jim going to the moon, and then I said I was sorry. It's okay, Levi. Want to play football with us at recess? They didn't freak out either. Just before the bell rang, I told Edith the truth about her pencil, and then I gave it back to her. She totally freaked out on me. Figures. By the time I got home, my storm was gone. My mom was right. Lying feels wrong. From now on, I'll know what I need to do. No matter how hard it is, I'm telling the truth. Levi, did you wash your hands? Yeah. Nope. I'll go do it right now. Lying up a storm. Well, boys and girls, we've come to the end of another episode of Virtual Judson Sunday School. I've got to get out of here because I've got a hot date with Jane Charlemagne Kardashian. At least that's what I think I'm doing later today. Thank you for being with me once more. Next Sunday is Kids Day, so there won't be a Sunday school class that day. I invite you to watch yourselves in your own performances and enjoy the Kids Day service. It's going to be all about you, about your parents, and about this wonderful city, New York City, that we live in. So I hope you'll tune in for that. Let us sing our closing song. Before I do, let me thank Michelle and Andre once again for all of their help. Without them, nothing. So, our closing song is Be Not So Fearful by Bill Fay. This summer, we may do more singing and we may do more storytelling and we might change the songs up. We're certainly not singing Manhattan anymore, I can tell you that. But we might sing Bill Fay some more, maybe we won't, we'll see. But anyway, you know this song, Be Not So Fearful, Be Not So Frail. There's someone watching you, she will not let you fail. Be not so fearful, be not so frail. And I'll shout out the verses. Here we go. One, two, ready, sing. Be not so fearful, be not so frail. There's someone watching you, she will not let you fail. Be not so fearful, be not so frail. Be not so fearful, be not so frail. Our second verse. Be not so nervous in these perilous times. Someone may look to you in search of the divine. Be not so nervous in these perilous times. Someone may look to you in search of the divine. Be not so nervous in these times. Be not so nervous in these times. Our third verse, be of good courage, you will prevail. The wind is quiet now, but soon will fill your sails. Be of good courage, you will prevail. The wind is quiet now, but soon will fill your sails. Be of good courage, you will prevail. Be of good courage, you will prevail. Let's repeat that first verse. Be not so fearful, be not so frail. There's someone watching you, she will not let you fail. Here we go. Be not so fearful, be not so frail. There's someone watching you, she will not let you fail. Be not so fearful, be not so frail. Be not so fearful, be not so frail. One last time. Be not so fearful, be not so frail. Thank you so much. Thanks, Bill Fay, for those words, or the first part of it anyway. Thank you for being with us. I look forward to seeing you again next week, Kids Day, and after that, I'll see you back at Virtual Judson Sunday School. Bye.